Moving on to some of our more familiar ports, with some of our more familiar devices, we have our PS2 ports. Now, these ports are similar to mini DIN ports, and they're what we've more recently used to connect, say, our keyboard and mouse. Now, these are slowly being phased out by actual USB ports, but the original PS2 ports, we'll still see them on computers in use today. And they're very handy sometimes because when we plug our keyboard or mouse into these ports, they don't need to install additional drivers like we do when we plug them into USB ports. That the actual device has to install the driver for it to be able to communicate what it's doing. Now, with these ports, we only need to install additional drivers if, say, we have a keyboard with special functions that allows us to quickly navigate to, say, our calculator or the internet. But without those, we don't need to add any additional drivers to these. These ports we'll see on our older keyboards or mice, and they're actually color-coded as well. We have two color codes. We have purple and we have green. As you saw a second ago, my purple end is connected to a keyboard here, and that leaves our green end, which is going to be our mouse end. These are color-coded because both of the ports look exactly the same, and they'll look slightly like this. These ports here actually also have a bit of a configuration on our computer. Typically speaking, when we're looking at these ports together, the mouse port, the green port, will be on the top of the two, and the purple port, the keyboard port, will be on the bottom one. They're switched here, but if we're looking at a back of a computer, say we have our desktop tower here, our keyboard port will usually be lower, and our mouse port will usually be above it. Again, this is one of those rules of thumb that aren't 100% correct all the time, so we want to make sure that we check the colors and check the indicators that are near the ports to make sure that we're plugging in the right device to the right port, because again, they're identical ports, but if we plug the wrong one into the wrong port, then it won't work. Now, these ports, while they don't need drivers in order to install and start, we want to actually make sure that the computer is off before we plug in the cable into the port, whether it be the mouse or the keyboard. So when we're installing them, we make sure the computer's off, plug them in, turn on our computer, or if we're taking them out or replacing them, we want to shut the computer off and then take it out and then replace it with a new one.